Right on. Should we have a quick round at a look at matchups that we know are happening?
Sure, let's do a quick look and let's just look if any jump out at you.
The biggest in the West is probably San Jose Vegas.
Well, we know the teams. That's one reason why.
Yeah.
Being in the Pacific, we know how they are, and we know one of these teams, which is quite good, is going home in the first round, so it makes it entertaining.
It'll be fun. Central, I guess a lot is still undecided with Nashville, Winnipeg, and St. Louis all being in 97, 97, 98 points.
And you know what's incredible there is St. Louis was last in the league at one point.
Yeah, I remember.
And now they're on the cusp of actually winning the Central. Like, it's crazy to think that they've managed to do that.
Who do you like from Central?
You know, I like St. Louis. I don't think Winnipeg and Nashville have played particularly well this year. And St. Louis has been so hot, and there's no expectation on them. Where in the past, they've always seemed to have expectation placed upon them. So maybe it's, the new shiny toy and you get interested in it. But I like St. Louis. What about you?
You got a good point, but you're right about how Winnipeg, especially of late, has not been playing great, but I got a soft spot for them. They got a good team, and I hope they go far.
You know my philosophy. I hate every Canadian team except the Flames.
The Metro, yeah, so Washington's going to face whoever fits in the fourth or fifth wild card. So New York, Pittsburgh, you feel Pittsburgh's going to take that one?
Yeah, I think I'd lean towards Pittsburgh with experience. And it's very likely Washington will play Carolina, actually. So, yeah. Could be an interesting matchup. You never know when you play a team like Carolina. Young guys have nothing to lose type of mentality.
All right, I think the second most interesting one after Vegas, San Jose, will be Boston-Toronto. But unless Toronto pulls his shit together, it might be a walkover by Boston, who is a strong team.
Yeah, I think they're both great teams. I think it's going to be a close series again, and nothing will make me happier than a Game 7 third period meltdown by the Leafs. We've had two. So I'm hoping for the hat trick.
Man, at one point, I thought Frederick Anderson was one of the best goalies playing right now, but he went absolutely cold. I'm reading a headline now saying that Sparks, their backup, is now the third stringer.
Yeah.
And do you remember when he went on the record saying we need to play with more emotion?
Yeah, it's you gotta be careful what you say, especially if you're the backup.
Yeah, he's spouting hot words for a backup.
Okay, but I guess next time we podcast, it'll be after Game 1 of all the series.
Yeah,
roughly.
Yeah, then we'll start focusing more on the playoff matchups.
Because a lot of shows do playoff preview shows before the series starts, and they guess how they match up. But I actually find after Game 1, you can really predict who's going to win the series. And so next week, maybe we'll do our series predictions after Game 1, and I can almost guarantee I'll go 8 for 8.
Versus
Yes, this is Versus, where we take two things, two people, two ideas, pit them against each other, and let them battle it out for a winner.
And we gotta focus on this time.
Yeah, because actually the NHL award voting happens right at the end of the season. And then they announce it after the playoffs are over. So all these awards, MVP, Vezina, Rookie of the Year, they're voting basically right now.
Do you know who votes for who?
It's different media members.
Yeah.
And they get assigned different categories.
And the Players Association votes too?
There's one award. It's the players vote for who they think the best player is. I forget the name. But generally, the big ones are voted on by media and hockey managers and stuff. So we thought we'd go through some of these and pit candidates against each other. And the first one is the Hart, which is the MVP of the league. And we talked before the podcast, we kind of agreed Kucherov is probably going to win.
Yeah.
But we thought, okay, of two other players who are in contention, who would be the MVP
For runner-up.
for runner-up? Is it Crosby
Versus
Goudreau?
Oh, it's got to be Goudreau. I like Goudreau better.
I see. I've seen a lot more of Goudreau, but I feel like Crosby really has carried his team this year. So if you force me to pick, I'd take Goudreau, but I think Crosby maybe isn't getting the appreciation because Pittsburgh has such a history of winning.
Don't get me wrong, Kucherov will win that cup.
Yeah. The next one is Vezina, so best goalie. And this one, two of the front runners are Vasilevsky,
versus
Bishop.
Easy again, Vasilevsky is on that winning team, and he's leading the league with numbers. In terms of goals against save percentage, definitely wins.
See, I actually looked at the stats and saw Bishop. He's leading a lot of the categories.
Leading?
Leading, yes.
Not wins.
No, not wins, but he's not on as good a team. But like save percentage, I think he's number one. So if I'm going to pick goalie of the year, I'm going to take away wins. I'm going to put a little less emphasis on wins and more on some of the goaltending stats. And I think Bishop has just been very good this year.
So it'll be someone who's playing or played for Tampa.
No, he doesn't have the best stats, though.
Yeah, okay.
So what I'm saying is Bishop's on a worse team, better stats.
Yeah.
Next one, this is Rookie of the Year, the Calder Cup. Is it Calder? No, Calder Trophy, I guess. Anyways, we have Peterson,
versus
Kachuk,
versus
It's
Bennington.
Pedersen, Elias.
Oh, that's true, Elias Pettersson.
And
you got to put the emphasis.
Brady Kachuk. There are two Kachucks in the league.
Yeah, that's true.
Only one is a rookie.
Only one's a rookie.
For my money, even though I don't like St. Louis, I think Bennington's done more for his team. Actually, no. Pedersen, he's really taken Vancouver from maybe being around the bottom with LA to finishing somewhere in the middle of the Pacific. I'll take Pedersen on this one.
Yeah, and I think if you term it most important to their team, you would have to go Bennington because
he took their team to playoffs, or
they
to
need
some extent.
But if you're gonna go like just best player, probably Pedersen.
Yeah, he's one of the all-star rookies we've seen in a while.
Yeah, great player.
Great player.
Norris won. I think we might be a bit biased on this, but for best defenseman in the league, we have Giordano
versus
Brent Burns.
Brent Burns. Those words from Doughty are just ringing in my head. How he's turnstile, was it?
Yeah, he gets blown past.
Blown past at
He's
least
like a turnstile
once every game.
Yeah.
Joe is not a turnstile. Giordano's really done everything and more you would want from a defense who is your team captain.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Offensively, he's been as good as you can expect. Defensively, and then also intangibles, leadership, he's been awesome. So
yeah,
I don't think any other defense has sort of hit all those areas like Gio has.
Doing it all at the ripe old age of 35.
Yeah. The next award is the Jack Adams for Coach of the Year. We have Barry Trotz
versus
John Cooper.
Now, John Cooper has taken his team to being one of the most winningest team in NHL history, but Tampa did great last year. They're expected to do good this year. Bill Peters took a team full of hopefuls and turned them into producers of something.
So you're going off the board.
I'm taking Bill Peters.
Okay. That's off the board.
I went off the board.
Okay. I would go with John Cooper. I know a lot of coaches have done great jobs, but this is a season Tampa Bay's having that is just, there's no comparable in a cap era where every team spends the same to be this dominant and also not get overconfident.
And he gives great interviews, too. He always seems cool and collected, but of course you will be when your team's doing so well.
And you live in Tampa Bay. Okay, last one. Not an award that they give out at the awards, but something we want to consider. Best general manager in the league. And we have Brad Treliving in Calgary.
Versus
And the Vegas GM. I forget his name.
The GM of Vegas?
Yes, the GM of Vegas. I can picture him, but I can't remember the name.
He dropped a lot of cash against Stone.
McPhee. George McPhee.
McPhee, that's right. It's a tough one. Tough one. I mean, what I like with the Flames is how much talent they have sitting in Stockton or in the back end just waiting to be developed. I think that is Trey Living's biggest accomplishment.
Yeah, sort of under the radar accomplishment.
Yeah.
How great Stockton has been for developing players.
Yeah. But up in Vegas, man, they just going on their second season and just took a strong team and kept a strong team. Probably even made it better.
Yeah, because they lost James Neal and a couple other players.
They foisted James.
Yeah, they foisted James Neal on us. But they basically replaced their top line, and they added Pacioretty, Stastny, and Stone.
Yeah.
So it's pretty clever maneuvering.
Yeah. Maybe they'll have a little bit of a goaltender situation to figure out, but I mean, so is Calgary.
Yeah, but if I'm going to pick a winner in the Versus, I think I would actually go with Calgary just for the flossing of Carolina and getting Lindholm, Hanifin, and Derek Ryan.
Yeah. I got man, the great, and also the young D's feel great.
Yeah.
Knowing that the blue line is going to be well protected for years to come.
Yeah.
Good show.
Okay, so let's hit the Great Balls, our last regular season Great Balls before the playoffs. So, Dan, who do you got?
This week I got some Iron Balls, and this is going to the Iron Man for the Flames, and that is Johnny Gaudreau. Johnny Hockey.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
If he plays tomorrow, he'll have played all 82 games of the season. He's played the most games of all Flames this season and has done very well in all of them. Most of them.
Yeah, no, he's been a great player.
Don't underrate Iron Man. Man, showing up day after day, every game, coming in and ready to play, it's something.
Yeah, this from the guy who missed our podcast last week. My winner of the Great Balls Award, and I'm also looking at it not just for the last week, but for the whole season, I have to give it to Hamonic.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
He blocked shots like Lance Boma.
Yeah, Lance Boma.
He played almost every game. He did get hurt for some.
Broken face.
Yeah, he broke his face. He lost teeth. He went
His
through...
daughter was injured for a while or not doing well.
Yeah, his daughter was sick.
Yeah.
And I think back to one of the turning points of the season, and when he got his face broken fighting Gudbranson to stand up for a teammate, but that set the tone, what the Flames were about. So Hamonic was the spark that started the flame burning. So I give it to Hamonic.
Good stuff.
Okay, yes, so that's the end of the regular season podcasts. We're getting excited for the playoffs. We'll be back after Game 1 to give our thoughts, opinions on the Flames and all the other series.
Do you remember how the chant goes?
Go.
Flames in 6?
Let's eat breadsticks.
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay, so I'm Nate.
I'm Dan.
We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, baby!
See you on the Red Mile.